Let's listen to what she has to say about the nice girl syndrome because I feel like she's talking to me. I used to be this person.
Hey y'all, so I'm back with another book. This is called The Nice Girl Syndrome. Stop being manipulated and abused and start standing up for yourself. And the book is basically exactly that. It kind of teaches us women and girls how to stand up for ourselves, how to stop being a people pleaser, how to stop trying to get everybody to like you. It just helps us, when you're a people pleaser, it's really hard to get out of that mentality because usually it comes from a childhood of abuse and having to regulate your emotions around your parents because you weren't sure how they were going to react, or they raised you to be insecure because you weren't allowed to express yourself. So it kind of goes into detail about how we can start to get out of that box. I really like chapter 6, and it's called Stop Worrying About What Other People Think of You. And in the beginning, the author tells us one false belief that young women and girls usually have, and then she tells us of an empowering belief that we can think instead. So the false belief says, what other people think of me is more important than almost anything else, including my self esteem, my health, or even my safety. An empowering belief that you can think is to say, it is far more important to know myself and take care of myself than it is to look good to others. So that's the intro to chapter 6.
I think my own childhood trauma came from me not being able to express myself. So growing up, I remember being the child that they call talkative. Like I talk a lot. Even till now, I still have that thing where I talk really fast. I talk so much. Like I can talk about something, one particular topic, and I will ponder on it. I'll try to explain myself again and again and again and again. It's because while growing up, I came like this. This is how I came. Like I came as that child that people call talkative. Like I like to express myself. I really love to do that shit. But then along the line, I was told that I should stop being like that. Like I should stop. Every time I try to talk or express myself, somebody is just going to like, there's this thing they do where they squeeze your lips. And I was getting a lot of that while growing up. People were squeezing my lips. My parents did that. My teachers did that. My, so many people older than me squeezed. You see these lips? It was squeezed a lot while I was growing up. And I think that particular thing made me stop expressing myself, or at one point I realized that I wasn't even able to talk. Like I want to talk. When I'm at home with my sisters, I am talking. But when I'm outside and I know something, I can't. Like the words don't even come out. This thing happened even when I was in university. I remember during a time when we were asked to do like a presentation, and my group asked me to be the one to present our own project. I was like, no, 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 because just thinking about standing in the front of a lot of people and trying to talk about something that was already written or something that is already written or being projected from the system like the laptop, they are projecting it on the board. So I was just supposed to read it and explain some of the things to my fellow students. But I couldn't, and I kept saying, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, because it already came with an anxiety. And this is something I know I got while growing up, because I was stopped so many times from expressing myself. And anyways, coming back to the nice girl syndrome, I have not read this book and I would love to. I'm just going to try and look for how to get either the hard copy or an audio version of the book online. But yeah, I am the nice girl that has the syndrome. I am the person that they're talking about in this book, because I don't know how I got this particular personality, but then I grew up to be somebody that always wanted to please everybody around me. I wanted not just even please them. I always want to entertain people around me. I always want to make people around me happy. Always want everybody around me to be in good terms with me, like not just like me, but just be in, I don't know why, but it was something I started needing from people. And it got to a point where I didn't even know that subconsciously now I wasn't just needing them to be in good terms with me. I started needing them to like me. I started needing them to want to be my friend. To I started needing their judgment, their validation, telling me if something about me was good or not, just, I didn't know when, but yeah, it happened. And yeah, it isn't a funny place to be. Okay, is it this nice girl syndrome thing? It's not a funny place to being a people pleaser isn't funny, because I didn't know that I was doing this as a survivor. Is it survivor mechanism, or I was doing this as a what? I don't even know why I was doing this, but I was doing it so much where, Charlie, anytime I want to do something, I feel like something is going to be beneficial to me, like a project, or like creating a particular content or making something is going to be like really beneficial to me, and it's going to fulfill me, make me happy. And before you know, the first thing that comes to mind is like, I'm gonna like this. What my parents say, would this break their hearts? I start to consider other people's opinion about whatever I want to do before I consider my own opinion. And before you know, with me thinking about, would this person like it, with my parents, would this one, when you start looking for excuses not to do something, you're going to definitely get excuses. That's one beautiful thing about this life that we live. You got an idea. If you allow multiple thoughts of doubt to come into your mind, and you entertain that particular thought for, let me not even say a long time, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, you allow the thought to come and you start entertaining that thought, trust me, it's gonna win. Okay, it is going to definitely win. And that was what was happening to me. When I get an idea, or I get a particular desire to do something, instantly I start thinking if people are going to like this, or what is going to be, the outcome. I start thinking about so many things that would discourage me from doing it. And trust me, I always find something that always discouraged me from doing it. Always. So when you look for excuses not to do something, trust me, this universe is going to give you one. And when you don't look for excuses, you're not going to get one, because you're not looking for. So seek and you shall what? Find. If you don't seek, you wouldn't find. So if you're in this shoe where you grew up with this particular, I don't want to even say trauma, you grew up with this particular personality, and you didn't even know how you got to be this person. You just found yourself being someone that is always seeking for people's validation, for people's opinion about something you're doing. You're somebody that is always considering other people's emotion, or other people's, what would they say? Would they like this? Would this disappoint them? Would this? If you're someone that you do that a lot, you need to stop. Okay, the first thing you should always ask yourself is, what I'm about to do, this journey that I'm about to go on, this project that I'm about to start, how do I feel about it? Will I like it? Everything should be you, okay? And nothing more. Stop trying to do things just for people to see you, or for people to clap for you. You should be the one clapping for yourself, okay? That is all you need. So you shouldn't keep doing things just for, I want to do things because I want my pastor, or I want my mom, I want my elder sister, I want my boyfriend, I want my husband to be proud of me. I want that my colleague at work to know that I am the shit. I want them to know that, this girl is the shit. This girl is the boss bitch. This girl is this. I want my friend to know that, I am not in her lane. Like, stop doing things for people to see. Like, stop doing those eye service things, because honey, you are living in your people pleasing era, and that shit has to go. Okay, that is in the past. That aspect of you has to die. Do things only because you want to do them. Do things only because those things are going to be bliss to you. Do things because that is what you want to do. That is what you desire to do, and not for any other external reason. Okay, that is what you should be doing. Okay, so I'm going to look for this book, and I think you should look for this book. Okay, The Nice Girl Syndrome. Let's look for this book together and read about it. If you are in the same boat, we need to read this book. Okay, we need to look for it and we need to read it. But let's move on to the next one.
When I walk in the room, I'm going to walk in as me, okay? Because I'm going to be me. So I'm not going to talk the way you want me to talk because this is who I am. But if I have to speak that a certain way, if it's in the pages, that's what you're going to get. But I'm going to be me. I got to be me.
Again. It is either you be yourself or be nothing. It's either you or nothing, and that is how it should be. I just want to talk about this a little bit before we move on, because I have so many other videos that talks about how to focus on yourself. So, but you guys are going to get that after this, okay? A whole lot of percentage of women have been taught to live their life in a certain way that pleases a man, and I want to talk about that briefly, or maybe not briefly, but I really want to talk about that. I have had friends that, and this is no jokes, okay? I'm not creating a scenario. I'm telling you something that I have experienced. I have had friends back when I was in the uni, and we would just sit down and we're talking about how our future is going to be, the kind of man, what kind of men we're going to marry, and how our life is going to be. And when this question comes up, like, because when I was in school, when I was back in the uni, I was smoking nicotine. So when we are talking and having conversation, I will ask ourselves, okay, if you marry, will you be smoking? Or before you marry, will you tell your husband that you smoke? Or will you let him know that you smoke? And I hear when girls, some of my friends, but my ex-friends, because we're no longer friends, some of my ex-friends then will say that there are certain things they are going to hide from their husband. And because, in the world where we live right now, it's a man's world. A man is supposed to do all these things and not feel shamed or ashamed about it. But women, when you do it, you're supposed to feel ashamed, or in fact, you're supposed to even do it in secret because you're not meant to be doing it. That is what this world has programmed us to believe, right? So you hear these girls say that when they marry, they will hide some certain information about themselves from their husband. They are not going to be transparent, and they are just going to portray, that image that the world has asked from us, that particular image that the world say, this is how women are supposed to live, this is how women are supposed to be. They are going to portray that particular image, in the presence of their husband, but then secretly they'll be doing themselves, like, doing their habits in secret and in private. And back then, I never had that particular opinion or that particular, I never thought like that. I didn't have that particular mindset. I've always told myself that whoever I was going to marry, then back then I always wanted to get married. I wanted to get married. So I was always telling myself that whosoever I'm going to get married to will be my friend. I'm going to be transparent to that person. The person is going to know me very well. The person is going to know, everything that I have done in the past before meeting them. I've always had that mindset because I still want that if I'm ever going to get married, I'm not bent on getting married. Marriage is not even on my number 10 in my list of things I want to do. But I've always wanted and still want to be in a relationship where I am 100% transparent with my partner or my soulmate or whatever you guys call it, my husband, my spouse. I've always wanted and still want to be 100% transparent without hiding anything, not my past, not my present, and not even the things that are going to be happening in the future with that person. So when I have this conversation with these girls and they keep saying this, I wonder what kind of life they were going to be getting. It's not their fault. It is nobody's fault. This is not the men's fault. It is not the women's fault. This is women's fault. This is something that we all came into this world to learn, to be programmed with. So the men they've been told that this is how a lady is supposed to behave. So yeah. Even when you meet a man, the man will be like, okay, some men will meet you and be like, okay, if you smoke, you don't let my parents know you smoke, you hide some certain things, you be this way, you do. I've met men that have always wanted to present me to their parents as something different. I've met people like that every time I meet their parents or somebody that is like an elder in their family, they always want me to present myself in a certain way. And I play along because I I don't know. I have been programmed to play along, to present, to act, to yes, that's what we do. We acting. So I play along, but then also you see men telling you that you shouldn't do this outside. You shouldn't do this. You're a woman. Some things you do shouldn't be done publicly. You're a woman. You're a human. You're a human. And this particular statement is what has made a lot of women always act in public. 90% of women right now are acting in public. You think you know women? Women, they think they know us. No, they don't. You guys have created the world. Men has created the world, or not them. The system have created the world where women are not supposed to be a certain way. But then we came into this world and we are this certain way. But because you've asked us not to act that way in public, of course, we're the best. See, when it comes to acting, do not try a woman, because you see, when it comes to acting, they teach person. You don't have to teach a woman how to act, okay? It comes with the gender. Very dramatic human being, because we can perform. We were created to perform. So you guys have created a world, or the system have created a world where they have always, want from us to always act, present ourselves differently in public, so that you guys can be able to accept us, so that men can be able to accept us, want us, can be able to, place value on us. They want us to act, and women has been acting. So 90% of women, no joke, are actresses. They are acting. You think you know a woman, you think you know your girlfriend, you think you know your wife. You don't, because you're not giving her the room to be herself. You're not giving her the room to become herself. And that is why she's going to keep acting. And you will die not knowing who you've loved and who you've been with for the past how many years. You will die not knowing who they really are. So anyways, I just wanted to say that. And for ladies, please, I know that we came into this world and we were told that these are the ways that we're meant to be acting. But trust me, that is not how it is meant to be, okay? Everybody individually have their word. You have your word. You can create whatever you want to create in your word. You can become whoever you want to become in your word. So you see that thing that they ask you to act, that is a general rule, okay? That is a general rule. And it is up to you to make the choice to abide by that rule or not. And I'm choosing not to abide by the rule, okay? So I'm creating my own personal world where I do not have to act, where I do not have to perform, where I only get to be myself, where I only get to live as myself. No matter whatever I am doing, you're going to always see me in it. Like if they say Vivian did this, you see Vivian's aura, energy, Vivian's everything on it. So if you grew up with that particular mindset where you're always performing in public, where you always have to put on a persona, in public for you to be accepted or loved, I'm here to tell you that you see that particular thing, you can actually stop it, okay? You see that particular circle, you see that particular expectation, you see that particular rule, you can break it, you can stop it, you can change it, create your word, be yourself. This is your time. You see here, right now, this is your time. You are here, you're breathing this air, you're watching me for Christ's sake. It's your time. The only performance you should be giving out is the one that you want to give out. The only performance you should be dishing out is the one that you really want to dish out, okay? Let's move on.
When it comes down to disappointing other people or disappointing yourself, choose other people all the time. It is your job in life to disappoint as many people as you can so you do not disappoint yourself.
You see this one here? This has been my motto, I think from 2023 or 2022. No, before then, when I started getting all these persons, I think these persons, I always say these persons, I got them because I was trying to mark certain things in my life, like as I was hitting a milestone, I just tried to mark it, and then I get piercing. When I was overcoming, when I was, yes, overcoming some certain, aspect of my life, and a new me was being born, I got piercings, all these piercings. But then there's another thing I never talk about. These piercings are also an act of rebellion. Rebellion is also an act of me saying that, I am tired of living to anybody's expectation. And this is me saying I am done. This is me coming out and saying, if this is your rule, like not having this piercing, they say, okay, no piercing. Especially if you're coming from a Christian home, they always say having piercings like this makes you demonic, gives you, I don't know, they say so many things about piercing. It was me saying, I am done. I am demonic. Yes, I accept. Let me be demonic. So this was like an act of rebellion, and I hardly talk about it. And you'll be like, why use piercing as an act of rebellion? It was only the one thing that I know that growing up I've always admired. Like when I see people with piercing, when I read books and I see piercings on the characters on the book, I'm always like, oh, I love this. And I never thought I was going to get these piercings. I knew I was going to get ear piercings because as soon as I got to my teenagehood, I started getting this piercing, like the ear ones. But then I never thought I was going to get any facial piercing because my parents were always against it, my religion against it. Even the people I was dating back then, when I talk about piercing, I'm like, no, when you start dating, all these boys, they start to believe that you are their property and they can tell you how to live your life or who to be, or, even when they don't have their own life figured, they feel like, okay, they have an opinion to how you live your life because, they are your man. So I meet all these men, then they will tell me, and I will go along because, again, I was programmed to behave a certain way for men to accept me, for men to love me, for men to want me. And I was doing that for the longest time. And at the period where I got to, and I'm like, oh no, I'm done with the shit. Everything, all the expectation, I am done. And the first thing that came to my mind is, you've always wanted piercing. This is the first step to take towards your rebellion act. And I started getting them. And coupled with the fact that I was also overcoming some certain things, I was like, okay, this is the best thing. I got this one first, and then I got this one, and I'm still going to get more. Now I love it. Now I love how it makes me look. Now I love how, it just help accessorize my face because I don't do much makeup and I don't want to do any more makeup. Like I want to stop makeup in total, so I rather have these piercings on my face as like my accessory. So yeah, I'm gonna get more, but that's not the topic. The topic is that I was done trying not to disappoint people. I was done trying to live up to people's expectation, especially my parents, my religious leader then, back then when I was religious, especially people. Everybody in this life has a specific expectation towards you, and this is no joke. Everybody you meet in life have an expectation towards you. Even when they don't really know you, they already have an expectation towards you, And I was done with that. I was done, and I'm like, okay, I no longer want to live, up to anybody's expectation, not even the general expectation that has been placed on us women or on us humans. Like, I'm done with this, okay? And I want to keep disappointing everybody. I want, in fact, not just keep, start, continue, and not stop. I want to disappoint you as you're watching me, and you're like, what does she have on her face? Or why is she like this? Like, yes, that is what I want, to disappoint you. But then not to disappoint myself, because I am so happy with the way I look. I'm so happy with the way I talk. I am so happy with everything about who I am. So you see, I'm not disappointing myself. So if everything about me disgusts you, then the purpose of me is being accomplished. The purpose of me being myself is being accomplished, because yes, the purpose is for me to disappoint you, but never to disappoint myself. So that should be your motto, because that has been my motto since I started going on a spiritual journey. So yeah, since I started getting this piercing, that's when I realized I was going on a journey. Yeah, the purpose has been to disappoint anybody that do not like me, anybody that my presence, my aura, my energy, my whatever is disgusting, is not. The purpose is for me to disappoint you, but never to disappoint myself. Let's move into the next one.
You gotta love yourself. You gotta embrace every single part of yourself and know that you are worthy. Know that your uniqueness is beautiful, and remind yourself every single day that with or without anyone's validation, I am enough.
With or without anyone's validation, I am enough. I want to add to that. With or without anyone's validation, I am enough. With or without having anything in this life, I am enough. Okay? And that is something I have been living up to. Telling myself every morning through affirmation that I am enough. I am complete. I am loved. And I'm not even saying I'm loved by an external source or an external God. I am loved by me. I love myself, which means that I am loved. Okay, not waiting for my parents to love me before I love myself. Not waiting for my siblings to love me before I love myself. Not waiting for a man to show me love before I love myself. Not waiting for men to want me before I love myself. Not waiting for when I buy that particular G-Wagon that I want to buy because I want a G-Wagon. That's the only car I know I can drive. But yeah, not waiting for when I get that particular G-Wagon before I start loving myself. No, baby, that is not how it is being done. Okay, right now, me seated here, I am loved. I am complete. I am enough. And again, you see the society that we live in do not want you to feel complete, because once you start to feel complete, you're not going to see any need to be in a relationship. You're not going to see any need to actually interact with other people, like to actually be in need of other people, other energy, other things. You're not going to be wanting all these external things. And that is why you were programmed not to always feel enough. Like you were programmed to always feel incomplete. Religiously, they tell you that you need to beg for your God's love. Always beg for his love. You need to always wake up in the morning and pray. All the shit that you do religiously in your religion, it's part of the programming where you feel incomplete, where you feel like your God needs to be spoken to every day. You need to remind your God that you exist. You need to always remind your God that you are still here with that same problem. You know, you need to keep, because your God is deaf and your God does not love you, and your God has forgotten you, or the pile of your information is underneath, and you need to talk and shout and to wake God up to your own to your own life, so that God can miraculously change your life. All those things are bullshit. Okay, see, the programming they did religiously is to make you feel that incompleteness, where you're always seeking, where you're always asking. Now you are at the mercy of this particular religious leader. You are at their mercy, because every Sunday, every Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on when you do your weekly activities, you're always going back, you know, to ask for God something, to ask for God protection, this thing. That means your God needs to be reminded, making you feel incomplete, making you feel not loved, making you feel like you're not enough. The educational system did the same thing. Place you in a system where you're always trying to compete with the next person, because you know they want the best, and when you fail, then you are not it, you're not enough, you're dumb, you're this, you're placed on, you know, below the rest of the class. There's a certain way they start looking at you when you are not excelling educationally, like when you're not excelling in the particular education that you in the particular educational system that has been created. There's a certain perception they start having about you, making you feel like you are not enough, that you're incomplete, like you're dumb, there is something wrong with you, you know, like you're a moron. Society did that same thing. Created a calendar. You have to go to school, and then you have to get a job, and then you have to get married, and then you have to give birth. These are all form of programming. Now, people don't see this. A lot of people have grown up in this particular programming, and they've grown up to want the programming. Like they've grown up to really accept the programming, and they live their life to achieve this particular program. They live their life to achieve this particular expectation, because they've been programmed in the way where they now accept it, and they now think that they want it, and they create their life around these things. And this particular programming where you were placed on a particular calendar, and there's always this push for you to achieve this one, and once you achieve this one, it is not enough, you have to go to the next one. So when you're done with your primary school, no, that's not enough, you can't get a job, you have to go to the next one. And then you go to secondary school, they're like, no, you're going to be at the lower level of the food chain, you need to get a degree. You get a degree, they're like, no, they brought another one, masters, you get a master, they don't, no, you need a PhD, you get a PhD, no. You see? And they call it a never-ending circle of wanting, of chasing, leaving you with that particular feeling like you're not enough, leaving you with that particular feeling like you're incomplete, like you're not complete, leaving you with that particular feeling that you need to have more, you need to acquire for you to be really full. All these things are part of the programming. I know people don't see it, but all these things are part of the programming. So there's this thing I learned from this particular guy, Neuro Knowledge, where he said if you want to become something, you need to be it first. So you need to start having that feeling that you're enough and you're complete. You need to start working towards, reprogramming your subconscious mind to always feel complete and enough. Feel like there's nothing lacking, there's nothing outside of yourself that you need, especially when it comes to the God that you've been taught to believe that you need. That God resides in you. So the God that you think you need, that you're always seeking for and chasing, you need to start knowing that particular God is in you. And since that particular God is in you, it means that you are full, you are complete. Everything that you think you do not have, you already possess in abundance, and there is no lack in your life. Okay, and once you start to feel that certain way, once you start to feel that particular way, whatever it is that you desire in life will just practically come to you. You will attract it. Instead of chasing, it comes to you. And why you don't have those things right now that you desire is the fact that you are feeling that lack. You're always feeling incomplete. You always feel like you need people to have this. You need to have this for people to appreciate your value. You need to be this. There are so many things you need to have or be, or and those are the lacks. And those are the lacks that are chasing the things that you're supposed to be having. Instead of attracting, you're chasing it. The more you feel lack, the more those things are going further away from you, because now it will create more things for you to want or to have before you get to that feeling. And the more you have, the more you still want, because you see that particular feeling. If you do not work on actually feeling it, you can never acquire it. Okay, you can never really acquire it physically. Like, it is not something you can chase and then you at last you're going to acquire it. No, it is something that you become. Like, it's something that you be. You start being it and then you become it. I don't know if you get my gist, but I'm going to be stopping here for today. I have always wanted to make a video like this where I get to share with you some of those words of motivations that I see on social media, especially on TikTok. This is what my FYP For You page is always showing me when I wake up in the morning. These are the things that I always see. The first thing I see when I wake up in the morning are these things, like these words of encouragement, these words of motivation, always reminding me to always pay attention to myself, focus on myself, make sure that everything that I'm doing, it is all that I want to do, and nothing is influencing it that is external, nothing from the external source or external environment or external anything that is influencing my choices in life. Only the things I want to do will be done. Only the things that I desire to do will be done. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you and just talk about it while we watch it together, because this is like my FYP, my For You page. And I hope you enjoyed this particular type of content. I'll be doing more, maybe not on motivational talk, maybe we'll do some other things. Probably when I see the things I want to talk about, I'll come back. Okay, but anyways, thank you for sticking with me, and I guess this is it.